Back on Inside Tennessee, talking about redistricting, and we left the conversation about gerrymandering, but I wanted to come back to that real quickly. Dr. Cahill, is there an example of an egregious case anywhere in the country that really stands out in history where exactly what you were describing, this packing or cracking, happened and people said, that just doesn't make any sense?
So one example is actually beside Lake Erie. If your viewers go and look at the district map there, they'll see a very long, it's actually called Ohio's Snake by the Lake 9th District, which actually stretches from Toledo to Cleveland. And it is super thin. It does look like a snake. And it actually led a panel of federal judges in Cincinnati to describe the district as a bizarre, elongated sliver of a district that severs numerous counties. And so that was an example of packing. Actually, it was a chance to pack as many voters of a particular party into a single district. So I think that that's a really good example of the kind of thing that you might look for. And it's important to note that this happens on both sides of the political aisle. Both Democrats and Republicans engage in gerrymandering when they have an opportunity to do so in order to solidify their hold on political power. And so it's not the purview of any one sort of party to be doing this activity. And so individuals in all states should be paying attention to the way that these lines of power are being drawn.
I think one of our neighbor states had a little problem with this, little legal difficulty, didn't they? Like North Carolina not too long ago?
That's right. Yes, and so some of the neighboring states to Tennessee have faced Supreme Court challenges regarding the way that they have drawn district lines. However, in the case of North Carolina, actually, the Supreme Court remanded it to the lower level, saying that it was non-justiciable. So basically, it wasn't the purview of the federal government to get involved in that, because it was a charge that the lines have been drawn on partisan basis. And as long as basically the districts follow the Supreme Court's one person, one vote tenet and a few other things underneath the Voting Rights Act, then actually the Supreme Court has declined to become too involved in the way that these lines of power are being drawn.
I'm just curious, as a political animal, a scientist, a historian, if there's anything as you anticipate this process going forward that sort of keeps you up late at night or troubles you, makes you walk the floor.
So I think that the thing that troubles me the most is that at the local levels, local officials will not have the support and capacity that they need in order to make this a really transparent and fruitful process. And so it can be very complicated. There is a lot of data at play. It's very fine-grained data, and I do have concerns that, especially with the compression in time, about whether or not those local officials and committees will have the support they need to be making good decisions. And so I'm very pleased to hear, the State Comptroller's Office has supported this process a long time, but also the Institute of Public Service at the University of Tennessee is also offering their support, and I'm very pleased about that, because I do have concerns. That does, if anything, wakes me up at 3 a.m. It's the idea that maybe people won't have the support they need to make good decisions.
And people do have the opportunity to dive into knoxcountydistricts.org and really educate themselves and even attend the meetings, Katie.
That's right. That's right. And I think that the more the public, I'm a huge proponent of public engagement in these processes. I think it's important, even if you aren't yet a voter, even if you're a high school student. I remember attending meetings as a high school student, and it was a great way to sort of become knowledgeable about my community. And so I would encourage anyone who's interested to take this opportunity to be involved, because really this will shape the way that the state makes decisions for the next decade. And so it's a worthwhile process to put your voice into.
Dr. Katie Cahill, Associate Director of the University of Tennessee's Baker Center. We appreciate your expertise and your time this morning. Thank you for the education. John and I appreciate it, and hopefully our viewers do as well. Again, knoxcountydistricts.org.